Всем привет, с вами Доктор, мы продолжаем играть в Broken Sword 5. Продолжаем расследовать это странное дело. И, как вы помните, в конце серии за Нико нам предложили поиграть. Нико Коллар. И старый знакомый, ну как старый знакомый, для тех, кто играл в первую часть, этот полицейский знаком, по-моему, именно из первой части. Вот. Ну, для остальных же это персонаж новый.
Sergeant Moo, we meet again.
Aha, Madame Collar, an unexpected pleasure.
I was in the gallery at the time of the theft. Can I get back in?
I am sorry, but I am under strict orders from Inspector Nave. Nobody in, nobody out. And I must correct you, Madame. It is no longer just a theft. It is a murder.
Mon Dieu, that poor man.
Так, что тут можно спросить?
Who is Inspector Nave?
The most promising young investigator on the force. A genius, a man blessed with almost superhuman insight.
He sounds highly perspicacious.
Madame, it is not for us to talk about the inspector's sweaty proclivities. He is about to solve his third case in as many days.
So, what's he got that the other investigators don't have?
Blood spatter. He is the world expert. He reads the entrails of the crime scene like a book.
Что-то не верится.
Here's my press card. Do you have a statement for the paper?
Yes, madame. Stay away from the crime scene and let the police do their job. And always leave a light on when you go out at night.
I witnessed the crime. I've got to get back in there.
I'm sure you can make an official statement in good time.
I saw the thief. I think I can help the investigation.
I am implacable, Madame Collar.
I chased after the shooter and got a photo of him.
Inspector Nave will be delighted.
You've got to let me into the gallery to show him.
Absolutely not.
So, I cannot go in without Inspector Nave's permission?
No.
And to get Inspector Nave's permission, I need to go in.
Exactement.
Have you ever heard of Kafka, Sergeant Moo?
Madame Collar, I do not see what soccer players have to do with this.
No, he's a... Never mind. I really need to get into the gallery and speak to Inspector Nave.
Tut. He is not to be disturbed. He is applying his famous scientific methods. Any moment now, the case will be cracked. I certainly hope so. I am dog-tired and want to go home.
This was madness. Sergeant Moo wasn't going to let me in. Why are you so tired, Sergeant Moo?
I have been working for 3 days with no rest. Nave is a genius in his field, and he assumes that we all have his energy and vigor.
Oh, you poor man. If you'd like to go and get some sleep, I will watch the door for you.
That's very thoughtful of you. Ha! A cunning attempt to make me a deserter, madame. A gendarme never leaves his post.
Well, how about a hot drink?
Ah, that would do the trick for sure. Unfortunately, I mustn't drink on duty. My doctor specifically warned me against it after the last... incident.
That incident you mentioned, what happened exactly?
I don't want to talk about it. All I can say is it was very unfortunate. I am on duty, and I need to focus.
Thanks a lot, Sergeant Moo. You've been so helpful.
Да, бюрократ. Ну, человек выполняет приказ. Что его
The
винить?
body was still in there. I had to get back inside.
Наверное, нам опять поможет этот официант. А что у меня в сумке есть? В инвентуре.
Madame,
Bonjour, monsieur.
whatever it is you want, we are closed.
Then why are you standing here?
You would not understand, madame.
Try me.
Because I look at you and I know you are like all the others.
The others?
The pretty women who shop, who gossip, who have their spa days, their almond croissant.
That bad, huh?
And the men with their grooming products and their shiny shoes and their skinny suits who come to my cafe and ask me for lattes, macchiatos, frappés.
I see your point.
Is this what we fought on the barricades for, madame? Ripped up the paving slabs, bled on the streets.
Isn't it?
No, madame, it is not. We fought for ideas, for philosophy, for freedom, equality, fraternity.
Vive la révolution.
And do you know what drove us on as we fought? What fueled the streets of Paris in that glorious spring? What made our hearts soar?
Cheap wine and free sex?
No, madame, no! It was French café noir that inspired us. The simple demi-tasse, the black, sweet taste of freedom.
So that's why you closed?
Yes, madame. I serve only thinkers, philosophers, revolutionaries. And you, madame, with your polite top and your pointy heels, are none of those things.
This is a cafe.
Yes, to the right people.
On any other day, I would have given this guy a straight one to the chin. But there was a chance he could help me get into the gallery.
И какой же? Что-то я из разговора не совсем понял.
Monsieur,
Как это может нам помочь?
Life is fleeting, madame. The sands of...
well, that may be, but
We know not what we want, and yet we are responsible for what we are.
there's been a crime.
That is terrible, madame. But you know what they say.
No, but I think you're going to tell me.
Life begins on the other side of despair. C'est vrai, non?
Well, I guess so. He was pushing me to the point of despair.
During the riots, we battled the forces of oppression.
Oh, really? That must have been terrifying.
It was, except that they made me stay behind the barricades with the other baristas. We made coffee by the liter to fuel the resistance. I've never brewed so much coffee. Of course, our brave heroes spent half their time going for a pee. But with our coffee inside them, they fought the running dogs all night long.
None of this was helping me get past Saint-Jean-Mou.
Au revoir.
Monsieur,
The road to enlightenment is a long one, madame. Perhaps you will walk that road with me? Au revoir.
Все, больше мы от него ничего не добьемся. Хорошо, что... ничего нет полезного.
an intricate stained glass window, irresistible to any tourist.
Да здравствует революция.
The menu offered black coffee and
А
a
я
small
пошел,
selection
походу.
of other drinks.
Так надо внимательно смотреть, ничего ли я тут не упустил. Можно сказать, что он типа революционер, там и все дела. Ну-ка, сержант. Там это...
Salut!
Революция
Bonjour,
назревает.
madame.
Локального масштаба. Нет, не хочешь?
You know, if you're tired, surely your duties are suffering.
Madame, I am a consummate professional. I would never shirk my responsibilities. I will stand here as if my life depended on it. Or my job.
Sergeant Moo could do with one of those famous coffees. Thanks, Sergeant.
Кофе надо взять. Но что-то с этим официантом нормально поговорить-то не получается особо.
It was the shortest drinks menu.
Тем более... Они закрыты. Давай.
Monsieur,
Madame,
I am not what you think I am.
being is. Being is in itself. Being is what it is.
Sartre, being and nothingness.
Bravo, madame. A lucky guess, perhaps. Au revoir.
Да, ты посмотри, а ну что ж ты будешь делать? Что ж ты какой-то не такой?
Madame,
The waiter clearly hated his clientele.
life has no meaning the moment you lose the illusion of being eternal.
Okay. Can we talk?
I am sorry, but I have no time to discuss human resources or pension plans or your water cooler gossip.
Well, me neither.
Au revoir.
Может быть, ему показать мое удостоверение?
Here's my press card.
La liberté. Madame, you are not the person that I
О,
took you to be.
точно. Надо же.
You must accept my deepest, my most profound apologies.
Well, of course I accept. But why?
La Liberté, the great journal of freedom. At the height of the battle, as the tear gas blew and the blood flowed, it was La Liberté which carried the voice of our revolution to the world. I know now that you are not the kind of woman who would ask me for almond croissant. You are a true daughter of France, and I am your humble servant.
Monsieur,
Madame,
could we have a little chat?
anytime, madame.
Ну, наконец-таки. Кофе, дай мне, пожалуйста,
How
кофе.
about some coffee?
For you, madame, of course. There is only one coffee that I can serve you. Black, strong, and in a tiny cup. One moment.
Наконец-таки.
Here is your coffee, madame.
Thank you, monsieur.
Подожди, я хотел сержанту отнести. Чё ты его выжрала-то?
The coffee was hot and strong.
Типа теперь на вынос?
Could you make me a coffee to go?
For a fellow revolutionary? Of course, madame. One moment.
Понятно, а то я уже начал, так сказать, не втыкать, что ж произошло-то.
Here's your takeaway coffee, madame.
Thank you, monsieur.
Так, кофе есть. Да здравствует революция еще раз. Бонжур. Аривуар, точнее.
Sergeant Moore, I brought you a coffee.
Coffee? Fantastic. Just what I need. But wait. I must not. My little problem.
I'm sure one little cup of coffee won't hurt.
I am tempted, madame, but I cannot risk it. I am sorry.
So, this incident, it involved you, some coffee, and your little problem?
It is a tale of woe, madame.
I'm all ears, Sergeant.
Well, since you seem quite understanding, I shall elaborate.
Please do.
I was in charge of canine security for the president himself. One day, en vacances, he went for a private discussion with a lady minister. I stayed alone with his dog, but I had drunk a coffee to stay awake, and nature came to call. So I tied the dog to a tree and went for a secret pee-pee. When I came back, the dog was having a liaison dangereuse with the lady minister's terrier.
But how did they find out?
Well, 2 months later, the president's Labrador gave birth to 6 beautiful mongrels. And I was busted to sergeant just after the president's divorce came through.
You are a victim of a great injustice, Sergeant.
You think so?
But of course. You knew you must not fall asleep at your post. You were guarding the president himself.
Well, the president's dog.
Ah, it was the same thing.
Yes, I suppose.
And by drinking that coffee, you made the ultimate sacrifice for our glorious republic. Your career.
Now you put it like that?
And now France is calling you again. She is saying, drink, Sergeant Moo, drink!
She is?
She is. Drink or fall asleep at your post. Which is it to be?
I suppose it is drink?
Bravo, Sergeant!
Oh dear. Oh dear. Excuse me, madame. I must use the petit gendarme's room. It has gone straight through me. Could you watch the gallery door for me?
Oh, you can count on me, Sergeant.
А быстро его накрыло-то, да?
I distracted Moo. It was now.
Срыв пломбы. Жесть.
How did you get past Sergeant Moo? Well, you won't fool me so easily, madame. I shall question you later.
Nico, am I glad to see you.
I managed to grab a couple of photos, but the guy got away.
Poor Henri is dead.
I know. Why kill him?
I've been trying to find out. Turns out the alarm was tampered with. It looks to me like an inside job.
So, no ordinary robbery?
And no ordinary painting. The priest claims that La Malediccio is evil. I need to get into the office and see what the CCTV has to offer.
So, what's the problem?
The inspector's watching me like a hawk. I'll never get in without some sort of distraction.
I'll see what I can do.
Наверное, попробуем его уболтать. Инспектор, расскажите что-нибудь интересного.
Inspector Nave, do you have a moment?
My time is of the essence. Be quick now.
Так, что у нас тут есть?
Why don't you check out the security camera footage?
Madame, that is not my area of expertise. It is the body which concerns me.
But the CCTV footage is evidence. It could help identify the killer.
Correction, madame. It is but an indicator. The only true evidence is bodily fluid. Unless you know something I don't, then please leave me be.
The only evidence Inspector Nave seemed to appreciate involved gore.
Да. Лучший инспектор. Просто инспектор Жабер. Лучший инспектор французской полиции.
George?
He is deeply suspicious.
Так, хорошо.
I suppose this is quite a complex case, Inspector.
It is a robbery gone bad. Nothing more, nothing less.
Surely there's a bit more to it than that.
Please abstain from baseless conjecture, madame. The victim's body paints a simple picture, more reliable than any witness statement. Consider the impact of the bullet, and note the concomitant lack of blood. A casual homicide, nothing more.
Жесть просто.
Did you see the alarm was sabotaged?
I have interrogated the crime scene, madame. I am fully aware of the disabled security. I prefer biological evidence to the merely circumstantial. Body parts, blood, important things.
Don't you think the disabled alarm is highly suspicious, though?
The forensic team will be along shortly. Voice your concerns to them. Do not bother me with this circumstantial fliff-flaff.
Ясненько.
Thanks, Inspector. I'll let you know.
Может быть, стоило...
If I was going to distract Nave, I needed to unearth new evidence or concoct some. And the bloodier, the better.
Ну-ка. Что это там такое? Пятна кетчупа. Инспектор.
The tomato sauce had splattered on the floor. I spread some of this sauce around with my shoe. It looked a little bit like a blood stain, but it still wasn't right. If I was going to distract the cop, I had to get rid of that gum. No way was I going to clean.
Мне надо какие-нибудь вот эти вот кусачечки. Или что там было? Ну-ка, Джордж.
Josh.
Yeah, Nico.
So why do you need to get into the office again?
I'm pretty sure the robbery was an inside job, and I think the proof is in the office.
So what's stopping you?
Super cop.
Так, ну это мы уже слышали.
You do that.
That's a deal. Somehow I had to get.
Да-да-да, Джордж, я хотел у тебя одолжить кусачки, мать твою, или что ты там взял? Ну-ка еще разок.
Josh. You said you needed to.
And you said.
Понятно, в общем, это бесполезно. И где мне откопать что-нибудь, что могло бы в этом помочь? Я даже не представляю, чем можно отыграть жвачку в картинной галерее.
Excuse me.
Father Simeon.
Are you okay, Father?
It's a terrible shock, but yes, I'm fine, thank you.
Could I ask you some questions about the crime?
What kind of questions?
I'm a reporter for La Liberté.
I suppose it cannot hurt.
What do you think about...
Is that blood?
I think it's... I wonder if there's a mop anywhere.
We are facing death and divine retribution. This is no time.
Father Simeon wasn't...
Ясно, ладно. Тогда посмотрим, что скажет нам Лейн.
Are you Hector Lane, the art critic?
Enchanté, madame. And which of the angels are you?
I'm Nico Collar, a reporter.
Ah, a fallen angel then, my favorite sort.
Так, не то.
Thanks for your...
Как же это драть? Может, удостоверением попробовать?
I scraped up the chewing gum with my press card.
Точно, смотри-ка ты. Так. Хорошо, инспектор. Тут новая улика всплыла неожиданно.
Инспектор.
Yes?
Have you seen the stain on the floor over there? It looks like blood.
Indeed. How very curious. I must investigate immediately, before one of these idiots steps in it.
Да-да, я не спорю. Проведите тщательное расследование.
interesting. Maybe it is time to employ the machine.
Okay, George. That should distract him for a while.
Nice work, Nico. I'll let you know what I find in the office.
Чё себе, офис?
I was sure the inspector hadn't seen me slip away. But I needed to be quick, because it wouldn't take him long.
Так, ну стол. Естественно, сначала надо исследовать. Кнопки.
I didn't like the idea of a pocket full of sharp pins.
Моток.
I didn't want to carry the tape around. I had a feeling the pen could have been useful. Then again, it might have leaked all over my pocket. I didn't need a business card.
Ничего тебе не нужно. Зачем тогда сюда пришел?
Carrying an ink pot around inside my pocket would have been stupid. The ink would have stained my hands for days.
Ясно.
It was the paper that Nico wrote for. Nico lived for the day her story would be on the front cover.
Ничего не надо человеку. Ну-ка.
There was nothing else in the drawer. The folder looked interesting. This was very definitely tampering with evidence. It was a completion of work notice from a company called Vera Security. They weren't the guys we'd recommended. Henri had gone behind our backs to choose a different security outfit. Huh. I'd never heard of Vera Security, but there was an address and phone number on the form.
Похоже, сейчас надо будет туда отправляться. Стой.
Henri's notice board was covered with all kinds of junk.
Ну как же мы выйдем отсюда? У нас же тут работает лучший инспектор Франции. Может, через окно? Точно, надо сразу через окно уходить. Выходить тоже бесполезно. Я уверен, что нас никто не выпустит так просто. А так через окно, и все, и пошел. Ну-ка, в календаре, если что-нибудь интересное.
The calendar looked like a child's school project. Henri had ringed 27th May and scrawled birthday. Poor guy hadn't quite made it to his big day. The statue was jaunty. Up close and personal, I could see that the fig leaf was hinged. Thankfully, there was no one around to see me do this. Very interesting.
Окей, а я уже хотел уйти. Но
I wasn't going to open the safe without the key. I was fairly sure that even Henri wouldn't be silly enough to keep it hidden in the office.
Ключ.
I had no reason.
Интересно. Так, мусорная корзина.
In the trash can, I found a crumpled letter from Henri's credit card company demanding immediate payment. It listed extravagant purchases from a variety of ladies' fashion stores. The address indicated that Henri lived in the chic and expensive 16th arrondissement of Paris. I decided to put the letter back. Henri's financial problems weren't my business. But now I knew where he lived.
Да, может там ключ. Ключ от сейфа, может быть, в его доме где-то, скорее всего, лежит. Часы какие.
It was a pretty flamboyant looking clock.
Да, прикольные часы, а вот и система наблюдения.
The CCTV system was ancient. It took individual shots and recorded them to tape. It looked like I needed to enter a passcode to view the recording.
И какой же, мать его, пароль мне вводить? Из скольки? Из 4 цифр.
The completion note from there was an address.
И где мне найти этот пароль? Может быть? Не-а. Не проходит. Так, понятно. Так, а клавиатура. Вот так.
I had no... pair of evil eyes stared from a
Похоже, и пароль где-то в другом месте находится.
It didn't look like there was anything important on the board. The woman in the picture looked vaguely familiar. The woman... A naked lady stared at me seductively. The sofa had clearly taken some punishment over the years. A pair of evil eyes stared from a partially covered poster. It was a hookah pipe. Those things gave me a headache. The pipe was pretty cool. Henri had a model of a VW camper van painted in hippie colors. The engine capacity was displayed on the back, 1600 cc. Henri sure had his quirks.
Ну-ка. Проверим. 1000. No.
Henri hadn't set the model van's engine size as the passcode. I needed to find...
Жаль, слушай, ну жаль. Ну-ка. Чего?
The poster advertised a 1975.
1975, давай. 1975. Эх! Где-то я еще тут что-то...
It was hard to tell if the lava lamp was retro. The trinkets, the junk, the instrument.
Ну-ка, календарь.
Henri had ringed 27th May and scrawled birthday.
27 мая. Хе-хе.
Bingo. I rewound the tape to before the robbery. This was the first interesting frame. It was Henri studying La Malédiction. He couldn't have had any idea what was about to happen.
Так, дальше.
Nico and I were taking a look at La Malédiction just before the robbery. Funny, the painting didn't strike me as remarkable at the time, just odd. A good view of La Malédiction. I could kind of see why Father Simeon thought it was evil. The killer caught in the act. There was nothing really distinctive about him. The moment it all went horribly wrong. There was some writing on the front of his helmet, but I couldn't quite make it out.
Интересно. Да, приблизить, конечно, такой техники ничего не получится. Может, еще что-нибудь в нем примечательного есть?
The alarm should have sounded when the killer... but it had been sabotaged. I wondered who could have done that. Maybe Lane, or even Henri himself. Or perhaps even Vera Security, who'd installed the system. The image was a little fuzzy, but in the center of the painting was what looked like a snake eating its own tail. I thought about what the priest said. There was definitely something unsettling about the picture.
Догони свой хвост. Это какие-то достижения, похоже, да? Действительно. Изучить Урабороса. Хорошо. Правда, как-то оформлено все. Ну, честно говоря, достаточно.
The killer making his getaway.
О, теперь можно рассмотреть, что написано.
A logo on the front of his helmet read Waterloo Motors. That could be useful.
Может пригодиться, да.
The painting was gone. There I was, taking a look at the alarm box. Hopefully I didn't look too suspicious. I hadn't thought about that when I was taking a look at the camera. That was the last shot. That was the most recent image. That was...
Monsieur, sir,
You have snuck in here, and now you are tampering with my evidence.
I'm just looking for the name of the caterer. That cheese was to die for.
Ah, to die for? To kill for. I put it to you, Monsieur... Monsieur...
Stobart. George Stobart.
I put it to you that you came here in search of cheese and killed the owner in a fromage-induced frenzy.
Well, no. I'm from Paris Mutual. We insured the exhibition.
Oh, really?
Yes, really.
Time will tell, monsieur.
Truth will out, Inspector.
Who dares wins, Monsieur Stobart.
He who laughs last laughs loudest, Inspector Nave. The guy was seriously nuts.
May I remind you, monsieur, that a serious crime has been committed. I am going to have to ask you to return to the gallery.
Of course, but I do need to ask you a few questions.
D'accord. But remember, anything you say can be used against you, Monsieur Stobart.
Okay, I'll bear that in mind. Do you know anything about a company called Vera Security?
No, I have never heard of them. Now, I must get on with my investigation.
It's very likely that the security camera holds a clue to the killer's identity.
Monsieur, I am a professional, and you are an amateur. So, leave the investigating to me, huh, pal? Monsieur, you are American, no?
Yeah, California born and bred.
Of course. I think perhaps you are wanting to be like that Starsky and Butch, monsieur. No? Rolling around on top of fast cars with beautiful ladies, firing your gun.
Interesting idea, Inspector, but not really my style.
Indeed. Well, let me tell you something, monsieur. You are my prime suspect. You may go now, but I will need to speak with you again.
I had some valuable leads, but before following up on them, I had important business to attend to. Hey, Nico, you want to grab a quick cup of coffee?
Sure.
I am pleased to announce that I have finished my preliminary investigation. This is now an official crime scene, and you must all go. I shall be questioning all of you again in the coming days. Nobody is to leave the country, particularly you, Monsieur Stobart. Monsieur Lane will stay behind to help secure the premises. Mo?
Yes, Inspector.
Let them out.
Right away, sir.
Two coffees, please.
Nice work in there, Nico. Whatever you did, it worked.
I just made a tiny distraction, and Nave bought it.
I think Nave would buy anything if it had blood on it. You know, this whole setup, the theft, the murder, it just doesn't make sense.
What do you mean?
The security firm that Henri used was not the one I recommended.
Well, that's understandable. I've been to restaurants that you recommended.
I've got their address. Maybe they can tell me who could have had access to that alarm. The CCTV picked up an image of the thief. His helmet had the words Waterloo Motors written across it.
Interesting. I think I got a couple of good shots of him too, but I need to take a better look at them at home.
Great. Let me know what you find. Like I said, I think it was an inside job.
Go on.
Someone disabled the alarm, but on just one painting.
Let me guess. La maledictio.
Exactly. And I aim to find out who did it. Well, the priest thinks La Maledictio is evil.
Charles, she's just crazy.
Yeah, you're probably right. But there's something strange going on.
Good luck with your investigations. Well, I guess I should go. This story won't write itself. And Josh?
Yeah?
It's good to see you again.
Great to see you too, Nico. I watched her walk away. The sound of traffic, the sun shining, a crime to solve, and Nico back in my life. As I approached Henri's apartment, I started to doubt whether coming here so soon after his death was such a great idea.